God did not send Christ as a reward to the obedient, but rather as a ransom for the defiant. We see Jesus display his love throughout his life and ministry. He healed the sick without requirement of gratitude. He displayed humility even though he was King of Kings. John chapter 15 verse 13, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 8, above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. Romans chapter 5 verse 8, but God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Psalm chapter 86 verse 15, but you, O Lord, are a compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness. John chapter 3 verse 16, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. 1 Corinthians chapter 16 verse 14, let all that you do be done in love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 13, so now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. But the greatest of these is love. John chapter 14 verse 15, if you love me, you will obey what I command. Colossians chapter 3 verse 14, above all, be loving. This ties everything together perfectly. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 12, hate stirs up trouble, but love forgives all offenses. 1 Chronicles chapter 16 verse 34, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Proverbs chapter 17 verse 17, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 2, be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 14, for Christ's love compels us, because we are convinced that one died for all, and therefore all died. Luke chapter 6 verse 35, but love your enemies. Do good to them and lend to them without expecting to get anything back. Then your reward will be great. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 25, husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Nehemiah chapter 9 verse 17, but you are a forgiving God, gracious and compassionate, slow to anger and abounding in love. Galatians chapter 5 verses 22 to 23, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Romans chapter 13 verse 8, owe no one anything, except to love each other, for the one who loves another has fulfilled the law. Psalm chapter 89 verse 2, I will declare that your love stands firm forever, that you establish your faithfulness in heaven itself. Psalm chapter 119 verse 64, the earth is filled with your love, O Lord.